Are you frustrated and frightened by the financial and life advice being given by the mainstream talking heads? Get some straight answers on money, tax, finance, business, and life with author and financial coach Jason Astwood.
Hello, this is Jason Astwood. Thank you so much for watching the Jason Astwood Show. I'm excited to share with you some information that I think is very valuable, because a lot of times we buy this product, but a lot of times we do not understand what it actually covers and what are the benefits. Okay, because typically we pay for it every single month. So we're going to talk about auto insurance, what it is, what it covers, what are the benefits, what are the pros, what are the cons of having it. Okay. So, here we go. So basically, one thing that you want to be aware is that most insurance companies, it's typically in most states, require all the members of the household to be in the policy. That is obviously for legal purposes, just to make sure that every single person is covered, right, if they are involved in an accident. So this is something that it's very important. Okay. The next thing on your auto insurance policy is what we call a liability. And liability, it protects you and your financial future if you're involved in an accident and you hurt someone, right? And what's typically covered under this policy? Well, it covers bodily injury, damage to others' property, damage to another vehicle, first aid expenses, and court and legal expenses. Okay, also depend on the limits that you buy, but this is what liability insurance covers, right? And so again, if you cause bodily injury, property damage to other individuals, this is what will cover it. Okay. The next thing is what we call the personal injury, or the PIP in the state of Utah. And the PIP covers ambulance fees, hospital expenses, physician services, and funeral costs. Most individuals in Utah carry a limit of $3,000 on the PIP. Which is the basic PIP in the state of Utah, is $3,000. You can always increase that, it also depends on the insurance company, what limits they have, but you can always increase that. And that covers every single person in your vehicle if they're hurt while they're involved in an accident. Now, the interesting thing about the PIP is that if you are hurt or someone is hurt in your vehicle, your insurance company pays the first $3,000 of medical expenses, even if you are not liable for that accident. And then the other insurance company starts paying difference, okay, based on the limits of the coverages. Okay. Another thing that we're going to cover, it's what we call full coverage insurance, right? There's a lot of confusion a lot of times on what's covered and what's not covered under your comp and collision insurance. And so comprehensive covers the following. It covers fire, theft, vandalism, colliding with an animal, falling objects, glass, flood, hail, and wind storm damage to your vehicle. So those are the limits that are covered under your comprehensive, insurance, and you are responsible for a deductible that you would choose. Most people in the US have a $500 deductible, but you can have a lower deductible or higher. Now, if you have a lower deductible, you pay more per month. If you have a higher deductible, you pay less. That is kind of the pros and cons on that. The next subject is collision. In collision, it's basically very simple. It's if you collide with another vehicle, if you collide with a stationary object, it could be a home, it could be someone, a fence, a wall, if you're involved in a rollover, if you collide with a parked vehicle, which happens a lot of times in parking lots, where you back out and you hit someone else. That's what it covers again. And so even if there is a hit and run accident and somebody hits you and then they disappear, your collision insurance covers, it's going to cover your vehicle. Again, you will be subject to the deductible that you selected when you bought that policy. Okay. Now, right here, we're going to go over limits. So you can choose different limits on your insurance based on your needs. The red plan right here, Plan A, is the basic plan required by law in the state of Utah. What it covers? Okay, it covers the following: bodily injury liability. It's $25,000 per person, $65,000 per accident. Okay, and then $15,000 property damage. Again, these are very low limits, but these are the limits that are required by law in the state of Utah. And so basically, a lot of people that choose Plan A or the basic limits are people that, they're on a budget. They only want to drive. They want to be legal on the road, but they only want to have what's required by law in the state. And so that's typically the reason why somebody will go with this particular route. Again, comprehensive deductible, you would choose, whether it's 100 to 50, 500, 1,000, or you can go higher. And that would depend, that would also impact your rate per month. The higher the deductible, the lower the monthly premium. The lower the deductible, the higher your payments are per month. The next section here is collision. Again, we went over that. Again, you would choose the deductible and the same principle applies. Higher deductible, lower the premium, lower deductible, higher the premium, okay? And another section of your policy that a lot of people do not understand, and it's this. It's called the uninsured motorist. This is if somebody hits you and they don't have insurance, which happens a lot sometimes, this covers you and the people in your vehicle up to the limit that you selected. So in this case, $25,000 per person and $65,000 per accident. Okay. So again, very good to understand what this is and what the benefits are. Okay. Another thing that could happen is if somebody hits you, an uninsured motorist, an underinsured, meaning that they don't have enough insurance, so they cause damage to you. They have insurance, but they don't have enough. So again, this portion of the policy kicks in and pays the difference, which is great. Another thing that we highly recommend is always having emergency roadside service or towing, depending on the plan that you select. And this will cover your vehicle if you need assistance like gas or tire or to be towed to a nearest station. Okay. And then something right here, which you always want to have as well, is rental reimbursement. This is making sure that you have a rental vehicle while your car is being repaired due to one of the, due to a comprehensive claim or collision claim. Okay. Again, this is the basic that's required by law, but you don't have to get the basic if you are somebody who, you have maybe a little bit more assets and you want to protect yourself and your family a little bit more. You can go with a higher plan, like $50,000 per person, $100,000 per accident, or $50,000 property damage. And then same thing, right? On uninsured motorists and underinsured, you can increase those limits, okay? And then you can go with the more ideal plan, which is $100,000 per person, $300,000 per accident, and then $100,000 property damage. So this, again, this helps. It protects you from a financial problems, because a lot of times you can actually get sued if you are involved in a car accident and you don't have enough insurance, and that could impact your bottom line for many years to come. Okay. Same thing on uninsured motorists and underinsured. You will have higher limits right there. That protects you and your family. $100,000 per person, $300,000 per accident. Same. Okay. And then again, if you have greater assets, you have a home, maybe your home is paid for, maybe you have a 401k, then you have savings, you have a potential pension that's coming up, and assets. So we highly recommend getting an umbrella policy, because this will protect your home and your vehicles if you're involved in a serious accident where now you have a major liability issue. This would allow the insurance company would actually send out their lawyers to represent you and help you deal with that situation. Again, we had a situation where one of my good friends, his daughter was in college, and so she ran over somebody who was crossing the street. She was distracted on her phone, and it was pretty bad. And so that ended up well because he had an umbrella policy, and that was able to cover the medical expenses and the damage, bodily injury damages cost of that individual. So that's why we highly recommend having an umbrella policy. And so again, in a just going back, we talked about comprehensive collision, what that covers. We talked about what liability is and what that covers. We talked about the personal injury protection, what that is, what that covers, and the fact that it's very important to include all the drivers in your policy, again, legally, so that to make sure that every single member of the household who drives has the proper insurance, okay? And then we're going over the different limits, Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C. Again, Plan A is the basic plan required by law in the state, and you can go higher as well. You can go even higher if you choose to. Okay, so thank you so much for watching the show today. Hope you learned something. Again, if you need assistance to review your existing insurance policy, don't hesitate to give us a call at 801-224-0165, and we're here to help you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you for watching or listening to The Jason Astwood Show, where you get straight answers on money, tax, finance, business, and more. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and check out the website at jasonastwood.com for more info. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.